Hi, this is Ali Kelly here from Mind Blank, and I've got yet another one of our panelists for the Building Resilience in the Workplace series. So, Gordo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Ali, thank you. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Yeah, my name's everyone calls me Gordo, but my name's Gordon Rutty, and my business is just simply I am Gordo, and I my passion is just helping people find fulfillment out of life. I believe everyone should get up in the morning and feel like it's an exciting time that as they go through the day, the experiences that they have is life, is gift. That life is a gift for them every single day, and I'd like everybody to feel that way. And if there's some way I can help them to practice, different strategies so that that can happen. So they do wake up in the morning, they do wake up excited, they do realize that whatever comes to them today is a gift, and it's really, over time we've created these conditions or how we think life should be, and they're just our thoughts and our impressions of how life should be. And it's for somebody else, it can be something completely different. So yeah, I just would like to help people understand that life is a gift, that that it's something to be enjoyed. And I understand though that we have things that have happened, in our past that may need some work to get beyond. But once we get beyond that, then then we can live life to its fullest and enjoy it. And every moment, no matter what it is, just enjoy it. That's what I want. That's what I want for everybody that I meet.
And what a lovely gesture or life purpose. I recall bumping into you just through BNI, really. I found you and I
Yeah.
came across your website and I came across this magnificent tagline, your commitment and life journey through your website. And for me, that really did resonate as I do believe that you are a person that continues to thrive and stretch yourself and also uplift others around you. Um, and one of the reasons why you're on this podcast is because, and emphasizing what you just mentioned, is it really does sound like you have a toolkit of all sorts of different tricks and tips for people to make sure they live their best life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I believe so.
Fantastic. So, why would the topic of building a resilient workforce resonate for you?
Well, for most people, they're spending half of their waking life in that environment.
Mm.
So it's a place where you want to be able to enjoy yourself at work. That's why it's so important. Half of your waking life is spent at work. So if we can help people build a resilience to circumstances, to offenses that can happen at work. I think that's a big one for people at work. That people, some people are doing things inadvertently that that can offend you, and that affects a lot of people really badly by taking offense. And there's ways of practicing not to do that, and the understanding that just because somebody said something or did something, it's not about us. And not to sound, you know, cliche, what most people do is more about them than what it is about us. And we need to realize that those things are going to happen in life, and we just can't we shouldn't take them personally, and we have to learn how to not take them personally. And when we can do that, then we can allow those experiences to pass through us. I think that's what we need to learn to do, is allow experiences to come through us, pass through us, and not don't bury them. Don't say, oh, that's not worrying me, and push it down. We need to let it come in. We need to feel whatever the emotion is. We need to allow people. We need to allow ourselves to feel it, but then learn how to let that go. And there's some things over just in the last few months that that I've struggled with for years and years. That a simple thing as learning to breathe through something and relax, because when a situation happens, our physiology is the first thing that changes. Like if someone says something to us, we tense up, our stomach gets tight, our chest gets tight, and if we try to let it go, if we stay in that position, it doesn't go. All we're doing is burying it, we're pushing it down. At some point, it's going to come back up. So one of the tools I've been using lately when something happens is to go, okay, the first thing I need to do is to relax. To relax. So I can relax my chest, relax my stomach, and say to myself, okay, let's just relax, and let it go. It sounds too easy. And it doesn't, it takes practice though. It's like anything in life. We need to practice it for it to work. Things don't change overnight, but if we can learn some of these little strategies over time, you'll find things that used to bother you, used to upset you, they just don't upset you anymore. I've got a simple one that's, for as long as I can remember, I'm not a good person in traffic. I get uptight when traffic goes slow. If the person in front of me is driving slower than the speed limit, I never had road rage. I never yell at somebody to do something, but inside I would tighten up and I'd get cranky and I'd get myself all upset. But I realized that what's that doing? What's that helping? It's not me getting upset because the driver in front of me is going slow. If there's nowhere for me to get around, I can't do anything about that. So why get upset about it? I need to let that go, or either think about something else. But the first thing I do is go, okay, just relax, take a breath, let it go, and then focus on something else. Not just push it away, but go, okay, I felt it. Okay, now I've got to let it go. And then it didn't disappear. But I can tell you now, I can drive in traffic, and because I practiced that over and over again, I hardly notice it anymore. I really don't. I can get stuck in traffic, and I realize that if I allow it to upset me, then I'm going to get to my destination. I'm not going to be the best I'm going to be at my destination when I get there, because I'm still going to be worked up. It's probably the first thing I'm going to talk about. Oh, you should have seen this guy that was doing 40 and a 70 or whatever. So, but it's just practice. So there's so many things that we just need to practice, and we can overcome.
There's so much in what you just shared that I just really want to emphasize. There is when you mentioned it's so easy that it's so simple it can be disregarded. I believe a lot of prevention and resilience training are going back to the basics. It's the simple things that we just have ignored for so long, or we've forgotten about them. But the second thing that I really think that you hit the nail on the head there was you practiced it so much that now you don't notice it. And these are the little habits that we need to build up daily, because when we do it when we're well, when we're starting to feel like our well-being is suffering, or our cup's too full, or there's too much on our plate, so to say, they're the times you do really need it. But the more you practice it in the times when you didn't need it, the more that skill is already there.
That's exactly right. That's what I share with a lot of the people that I talk to. It's the times when you really are feeling quite good. They're the times to practice those things and to prepare for those things. So for me, in the mornings, the first thing I do is my mental training. I prepare myself for the day. If I know there are things that do bother me, then I will pre-frame it in the day and rehearse, what am I going to do if that happens today? Because there's lots of things in our life that that we know are triggers for us. And if we can at the start of the day go, hey, you know what, today, if it happens, this is how I'm going to react to it.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you still don't handle it, but the more that you rehearse it before it happens, and when it does happen, practice those little strategies, then, like I said, it's the easier it gets. And one day you'll go, that did not even touch me at all. And it just came in. Because like we drive down the road, we see a million things flying by us, and every now and then we'll see something, we'll take that in, but all those other things that have happened, they pass through us. They don't get stuck inside of us, and we can do that with things that used to upset us if we practice letting go of it. Not, as I mentioned before, it's a difference between pushing something down and not feeling it, than actually feeling it, but then go, okay, I felt it, the emotion came up, but I can actually relax through that and let it go. And it takes practice. It really does take practice.
For sure. And I can hear a magnificent level of self-awareness within you. And no doubt these are some of the tools you pass on, or knowledge that you can share. That to me it's just a testament of the work that you do. The daily grind that you focus on, it really is shining out through you. And if only we can create a level of self-awareness in the communities around us, in the workplaces that we work with, then perhaps we can catch these tiny little micro moments that add stress to us, because then we don't,
And the thing is to start with a little, don't there could be some really big things we struggle with. But let's start with let's start with those little things, practice on those little things, and we'll find that the big things are triggered the same way as the little ones. But if we can practice on the little ones, it'll make some of those bigger issues that we have easier to handle. Does that make sense?
Oh, it really does make sense. I understand. It's the micro habits that if someone goes in trying to fix their entire life, it could be too big a problem to kind of like swallow. But if we start with some of these micro stresses, we can get on top of them, allowing us more room to then deal with the other issues, for sure. So question to you. What makes you unique in terms of how you can help people? Because I know that there are business coaches out there, there are trainers from all different legs of life. What type of unique point of difference would you think that you could bring to someone who may be looking for just a different way of delivering a wellness service?
I think my point of difference is, I got to be careful. I think I'm sure other people say way of life, but I feel like that's just my way of life, and I feel that if I can be, helping somebody, whether we're personally and together, I can share with them the things that I do on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis in the community. I think community interaction and involvement plays a really big part in my mental health by being surrounding myself with the right people and the right communities, and then being involved with, whether it's charitable causes or whatever. And a lot of the people I work with end up in one form or another joining some of those communities with me. So instead of just having, me having a chat to them, they get to share in this greater community, get a lot more support, and see how people react in certain situations, and then but also that encouragement builds them up, and before their self-confidence grows. They realize there's other people that, even though these great communities, they're still just men and women and so forth who have issues also. And we share some of those issues, and they realize that they're not alone, but they get support. I think it's that greater community support that is the best thing for my life. And I say the people I work with just end up being part of that. So the community grows, or they just get attached to, whether it's a Facebook group that we're involved in, and they see things that we're doing, but they can interact and comment, and I think just seeing what other people do has a big impact. Yeah,
definitely. You are a magnificent leader, and I can tell that just from those that are surrounding you in your network. Like, I have come across some of those Facebook fans of yours that have certainly bragged about you behind your back. So that's certainly a testament of the type of energy that you bring into the world. And I know enough about you to know that, you come from a PT background, personal training. So there's a health and wellness aspect as well as some mindset coaching. But I definitely hear you when you mention community, because you are uniquely you, and you bring that contagious energy of community around you too, no doubt. Okay, my final question is, so we are connected with businesses that could be micro businesses. We are currently connected to women in business, BNI networks, union bodies, large business, corporate. So all shapes and sizes are the type of stakeholders that we have that are interested in workplace wellness. And part of workplace wellness is individuals as well, thriving to do their best. So how could we help you? Like, the people that are on this panel that I've called out for Mental Health Week are all like-minded in certain values, and they are all keen to collaborate in various shapes and forms. So what would you think would be a helpful fit for you?
Well, I think I would like to, what would help me is just talking to other professionals in the space, other coaches and trainers who are working, with you, just to, that would help me understand how other people are working in this situation, how they help people. That would be great for me, just to understand what other people are doing. That can help me when I'm chatting to the people that I work with.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I can let you know now, what I tend to do is I do collect people who are offering various different services in this health and wellness space, because I find it's a fantastic add-on to our programs. Like we mentioned before, to create wellness, particularly in that workplace culture, there really needs to be a proactive effort of a variety of services. So we collect different initiatives that a workplace may want to trial, and something may work for one workplace and not for another. Like, I came across, for example, there's a fella in the UK that he creates his own poetry, and it's all about raising awareness of mental health. And some businesses, like there are some airports out in the UK that have featured his work, when you're going into the airport, and big corporates painting some of the poetry on sides of buildings, and it turns up in festivals, and it's turned up in footpaths all over Queensland too. So for businesses that are interested in that fella's actually offering some in-kind services to write up the poetry and then help assist the workplace with what wellness looks like for them. So yeah, it's a different tactic. A workplace may not have thought of that. It may be the vibe or the culture that they are trying to use as part of their wellness strategy. But I tend to just, when I find allies who value the same type of change and the same type of principles for wellness and resilience building, I try and connect different sources so that we can be stronger together. So I thank you for being part of this series today, and I look forward to connecting
my pleasure
with other people in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Gordo.